Well, good evening, Rebecca.
Well, good evening, Dad. And good evening, shallow friends.
Again, all 24 of you.
Ooh, that seems high.
Yeah, probably.
All 4 of you.
So we actually spoke it out into the universe that we had a schedule. We're going to record every Tuesday and publish every Monday.
Mm. And we had planned out topics.
We
for
had
each
topics
week.
and guests and well, how long has it been since we recorded?
Couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
Yeah. What's tonight's topic?
None.
As your mother would say, who can
Who
say?
can say? Whole bunch of nothing is the real answer.
Whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
So strap in for this ride, shallow friends.
We're doing another random chit chat episode, but this time we're in the same spot.
Yes, that's
so
true.
That makes it different, more exciting, unique.
Yep.
I don't know. Not that unique.
We're definitely not unique. We're kind of struggling at this point to maintain motivation, and
it's not necessarily maintaining motivation. It's just there are some topics where I feel like I have to be in a certain vibe to be able to get across everything I want to, and sometimes I'm like at the end of a long day, a long day. Sometimes I don't want to talk about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch Love Island.
Oh gosh, which is really detrimental to your mental health.
Yeah, but it's so fun.
Yeah, I get that, and this particular version of recording was delayed a couple times because you were trying to wrap up an exam and stuff
that's
like that.
true.
Like
yeah,
there's stuff that's legit. I'm not trying to say like we're losing motivation because we suck at live. Like no,
we're sick of this already.
Real world.
We made 12 episodes and we're done.
Yeah,
that's all we had to say.
I think we put the magnum opus what is the word?
Yep, I think you got it.
Magnum opus, first try.
I think that you struggled over that in an earlier episode too. I feel.
Maybe. Just call me Joe Biden.
Oh, topical.
Too soon. Too soon. We're recording towards the tail end of June in 2024, and we don't talk about politics on this podcast, but there was a debate for the presidential election last night, and it did not go well for certain candidates.
Or even all.
Or for our entire nation.
All of us.
Our entire nation was poorly served by
suffered.
that. Yeah. Anyway, when you have to explain the reference in the joke, it's probably not a good.
I would agree with that. But we never said we made good jokes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We're just comfortable enough to just throw them out there and see what sticks.
We have the confidence and the bravery to exist loudly, and I think we should be proud of that.
Okay. I'll try that.
Try it.
Uh-huh.
Try it. Let me know how it goes. What you think. How you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's exist loudly, bravely, and proudly. Now
Bars.
I'm a poet.
Bars.
Yeah, Lin-Manuel, you can take that line.
Yeah, write that down.
And see where our chit chat takes us.
Mm-hmm.
We've finished. Okay, I'm going to just ask a question.
Okay.
Because it occurred to me, and so because I'm a boy, as soon as it comes into my brain, I say it. It's the end of June.
It is the end of June.
Summertime.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think summer is a third of the way over now, or do you think?
So. I've never liked summer.
Yeah, that's true. Other than going up to the cottage, you like going.
I do love going up to the cottage. That's the only good thing about summer. Everything else sucks. It throws off my routine.
Yep.
I've never existed without school in my life.
COVID kind of fucked you over on that too.
Fucked all of us over. But like
Right.
every summer hits and I'm like, everything that I've done and created and scheduled is thrown off now because it just freaks me out. I don't like it. Also, I hate hot weather.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a chilly kind of person.
I'm a
By the
December
way,
baby.
our three-legged friend, Fred, just noticed that I put stuff on his chair and he can no longer sit there and he's very distraught.
He's hopping back and forth. Oh.
Yep, now he's chirping about it. Fred,
Sorry.
go find another chair.
You're okay.
There, he did.
I'm so
He
impressed.
found it.
I remember when you guys told me that he had to get his leg amputated, and I was like, oh, that's horrible. Like, what's the quality of life for him going to be like after that? Like, do they know? Do you just have to euthanize him instead? And they were like, no.
They're totally fine. They just figured it out.
They don't even really notice it's gone.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you see his little stump twitching.
Yeah, he tries to itch his ear with his missing leg. It's really cute.
But let's think about what his life really is.
Yeah, it's just
Sit
laying
around, eat,
and eating.
Yell at us, sit around, sleep, eat.
He doesn't really use the
Eventually,
leg
he goes somewhere and poops. But he's also growing at an alarming rate.
Is he?
Yeah, he's getting. I just picked him up. It's impressive.
I remember after my surgery, they told me don't lift anything heavier than 10 pounds. And
You can't lift Fred.
I can't lift Fred.
No, you can't lift your boys either.
Well, one of them I could.
Oh, okay.
The other one, I could not. He was 10.4 pounds, so that was a big no-no.
That 0.4 was going to totally screw you up.
Yeah.
So, I've always, back to the summer thing.
Oh, yeah.
I've always wondered, like, I wish that they would stop screwing around with what the summer schedule is, because I used to think, I don't know, I was indoctrinated in the idea that July 4th was the middle of summer, and you were as far into it as you had left, and nowadays July 4th is like the beginning of summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And summer is truncated because it used to be Memorial Day to Labor Day was summer. Mm-hmm. That was the summer season. And now it's like school doesn't end till after Memorial Day, and school starts before Labor Day. I don't. It's
to the point where Labor Day is like a nice break. Like, oh, fuck, we've been going at this for a while.
Can we stop school now?
Give me a day off.
Can we have a snow day on Labor Day?
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, I remember the first time, I think I was in like late high school, the first time we had summer start, or we still had school during the month of June. Like, we got out of school like June 10th or something like that. And it was the first time that we had gone all the way into June, and I was like, this feels wrong and illegal. All of June is summertime.
Yeah. So my rant has always been like, okay, I don't mind school leaking over into June, because where we are, June is still kind of sketchy weather.
Hit or miss, really, yeah.
But quit stealing time at the end, because August and September are great.
Yes.
And I hate the idea that everybody has to come back, and like registration is like the third week in August.
It's crazy.
Like, get the fuck away. Like, stop it.
Oh, yeah. Registration for the high school.
Yeah, for the high school.
My youngest brother is starting high school next year. He turns 14 soon.
Next week?
Maggie and I had tiny breakdowns about that at the dinner tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when we realized that he was turning 14.
Yeah.
We both lost it a little.
Wouldn't it be cool if he was like the size of a 14-year-old?
Hey, be nice.
It's not his fault. I'm not blaming him.
He's built little.
If anyone's to blame, it's me and your mother.
It's your genes that did this to us. Yeah. We're all short.
Like, Why did we have a child at such an old age? He's a little... He's the runt of the litter.
He really is. Poor
Although,
kid.
Colby's kind of the runt of the litter, too.
I don't know.
His body's actively trying to murder him.
That's true, but he's got broad shoulders and he can do stuff. Patrick is just so like wispy little thing.
I still think he's going to get there.
I think he'll have a growth spurt height-wise, but I don't think he'll ever bulk up. You think he will?
The oldest brother did.
The oldest brother's in the army. I
don't think that means he's out there like lifting like a...
Yeah, they just pick up big rocks and put them back down.
Is that what they do?
That's what they do. Sometimes they use tanks to blow up the rocks first.
Oh, and then they're more easily liftable
easier
rocks.
To pick up, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're out there doing that for us.
Thank you.
To serve and protect. Oh wait, that's the police.
Thank you to our men and women in arms.
Yeah, plenty of women.
Picking up and putting down rocks. Plenty of women?
There are plenty of women. They're serving in combat duty now.
Do you have a stat for that, or are you just...
I'm just saying that since they lifted the restriction on women in combat roles, they have become like a significant portion of it, especially in the officer corps. Like they are leading combat units and flying jets. They're murdering people just as effectively as the meatheads were.
That's feminism, guys.
There you go. See?
Let women murder.
You finally won.
We did it. We did it, girls.
And by that I mean we finally convinced you that the only way to win was to be like us.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the same argument where you fight a man who doesn't believe in feminism and they're like, well, if you're a feminist, does that mean I can hit you? And it's like, well, why do you assume that when we're equal, you're allowed to hit me? Why is that the first thing you think of?
Yeah, because you're pretty screwed up.
Are you going around hitting all of your male friends? That's so
it's like
weird.
That never happened. That's
Seek help.
Like, not once have I hit.
Experience.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Thanks for bringing us down.
No worries.
So how did your class wrap up, or is it wrapped up?
It's done.
That was the final.
We're done.
Are there 2 sessions? You
no.
2 summer sessions. I mean.
I don't think there's another session of this class. I asked my advisor when I had a meeting with her, which is why I took this summer class, because she said I think you should take this during the summer. Your fall schedule looks really packed, and she was nervous for me. And I said, is it the whole summer? And she said yes. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Kind of a bummer, but whatever. And then this class was moving so quickly, and I was like, damn, this is going to kill me.
Yeah, I have to do this all summer.
It was a lot of content. And then my professor was like, okay, so test number 2, which is, I guess, also the final, but I'm just calling it test number 2. And I was like, the what? The final? He was like, yeah, we're done with the semester next week. It's like, oh, dang.
Oh, that's perfect, because
so
you're going to spend a significant chunk of time at the cottage.
That's true.
To be
I'm really
preparing for your big show. You don't even know that reference, but that's okay.
What is it?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
No one. Well,
some might. Do you think Grandma will know?
Yes.
Shout out to Grandma.
Yeah, you can. We'll let her tell you what.
Yeah, she'll tell me with her feedback text. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it actually works out.
Yeah, it does.
Way better.
I'm glad. Also, I told you, I mentioned this earlier tonight, but I got a new project at the lab that I work at.
I didn't actually hear the story.
I was really excited. The guy that runs the lab messaged me and he said, oh my gosh, an amazing opportunity that I think would be perfect for you just popped up. Can you come in and meet me today, or can we Zoom today? And I was like, yes, please. Because I've been waiting I've been waiting for a while and pushing him for a while to give me something like to actually do, and I'm really excited. So the project basically is this guy that he did his postdoc at Harvard with made a company where they are developing this program that uses coding languages to like submit modeling, like 3D modeling of molecules, and it runs through the different 3D structures that each molecule can make and shows you like the energy levels of each, so that you can take that information and apply it like practically in the lab without having to do all of those tests in an expensive and time-consuming manner. So it
like taking you off the bench and into a computer.
Yes. So you don't have to. Also, the way that it runs is that it takes your input of the molecule and then runs all of the calculations and stuff in the cloud on computers that are through his company instead of through where you are. So he can do it much faster than if you were at like an institution with a bunch of people submitting jobs all at the same time. Like, it's going to take forever. So he's making it much faster and simpler. Like, you don't have to know any code, which is rare for these kinds of like molecular modeling like programs. So basically he hasn't technically launched yet because he's still in like the beta stage of it, but where he's at now is he's at the point where he's going to start testing these different like programs with some very simple molecules that he like knows the behaviors of.
Right.
And my job is to run those through a bunch of different like, so the way they do it is they run it one way, which is like the industry standard, which is like pretty expensive, pretty time consuming, but extremely accurate. And then there are a lot of like smaller level tests that you can do to get kind of like a guess at some of this information. And it's a lot faster, but it's less reliable. So what he's doing is he's running it through his program, seeing the results there, then running it through all these less expensive models,
right,
and seeing what matches up with what he's doing, and then he runs it through the expensive, time-consuming, reliable model, and he sees what lines up. And it's really interesting.
Yeah.
And my job is to do that with like some base, easy molecules that we already know basically what they're going to show up as.
Sure. Which version are you doing?
All of them.
You're doing all the different levels.
So it's like 4 molecules, but they can be structured in 3D space in like a bunch of different ways. So we're doing 50 different variations of each of each molecule. So it's 200 total.
So
and then running it through a bunch of tests.
Maybe a job opportunity.
Well, also
afterwards.
he said he's gonna present to his group the opportunity to help with this job, because this job, one of the goals of it is to finish all of this testing and submit it in a publication to a paper within 8 weeks. And if you're somebody who's helping,
that's fast.
You're first or second author on a publication. That's a big deal for grad students.
But you're an undergrad.
Undergrads. So he came to me and he was like, I'm presenting you this opportunity first, but I can't just give it to you because that's basically giving you a publication.
Yeah.
So I have to present it as an equal opportunity to everybody else to make sure it's,
But they don't know how to do this stuff.
No.
Like, you're the only one that got trained on that.
Yeah.
But you do know that runs in the family, right?
What?
Your mother was published as an undergrad in the research lab she worked in, and actually is credited with a discovery.
That's really cool. Do you know what
her discovery was? Something about it was like a moth, I think, where it was the sexual development where they showed that there was an intermediate period where there was sexual expression of both sexes.
Both male and female sexes. That's very
and
interesting.
it was the first time it had been documented.
That's really
even
cool.
though it was I don't know that it was like new science that exists. People knew that.
But they made
the
record of
it. But they actually documented it, which is cool.
Wow, I knew she worked with like mice and snakes. I didn't know she worked with moths.
Well, so she worked in the lab as a full-time job doing she was basically in the resource lab.
Oh, right. That was
delivering
post-grad
product to the actual research labs. But the actual research she did was in
really cool.
undergrad. Yeah,
she's much more. She was much more biology. Oh wait, she was only biology.
She was biology.
She was biology. Yeah.
Biology pre-med.
I'm much more chemistry because the lab that I work in is technically an organic chemistry lab,
Yeah,
not a biochemistry lab. So there's almost no bio. It's all carbon.
That's okay.
It's okay.
I mean, so am I. I'm all carbon.
So am I.
Well, lots of water too, but
Yeah, you have other bits in there also.
some.
We got nitrogens.
I mean, today you were telling me that maybe I didn't have enough water in me.
Yeah, well, you peed 2 times total.
Well, that's because I drank a bunch of water, but I was also out on a golf course, and so
Sweating it out.
Like it
Using it immediately.
it works.
Okay.
I'm pretty good. With,
I'm a big proponent of drinking water.
I am too. It's last, I don't know, what is it, 5 or 6 years is when I've gotten into drinking a lot of water.
Yeah, you and I are the only people in the family who have like designated water bottles that we carry around. Nobody else does that.
It's wild too because I feel like Mom would be the one that would be
I
like
think so,
chugging
too.
water all
She
the time.
doesn't drink
she
water.
doesn't drink water very much.
She drinks, sometimes she just heats up water like it's tea
That's
and
true.
drinks that,
Just
but
hot water.
it's really weird. But like at restaurants,
She
she
would
doesn't
have been.
get
She
water.
would have been so good in the Depression.
I think she thinks
Oh my
she's living
gosh.
that.
Well, you know, as I said today, we're pretty good at rapidly becoming poor.
Oh my gosh. You want to know the moment I realized that Mom had really sunk her claws into my brain with her like rationing mentality? Was when I was running out of hair gel and I was like, oh, I have to get more hair gel. And then I looked at my pretty much empty bottle and I was like, no, I don't. I don't have to get more hair gel. I'm just going to cut this. And I
You
cut
didn't.
the end of it off and I was scraping
Yeah,
hair gel.
you
out
got
of
in
this,
there.
like, cutout
You got
on
in
top.
there and got some
For
more.
like another week I made it last. And then I was like, this is insane. I'm just going to go get it.
This is a woman who, yeah, her shampoo is a bar.
She was bar shampoo.
She has a bar shampoo, and yeah.
You want to know what she gave me for Christmas in my stocking?
What?
A bar of like the shaving cream that people use, like men use in like those traditional like straight razors.
Yeah, like the with
thing.
the horse bristles and
Right.
everything.
She just gave me like the soap that they use, just that, and she's like, "This is so you don't have to keep buying shaving cream." And I was like, "Jeez." Okay, thanks.
Wow. Yeah.
I love her.
She's so nostalgic.
Yeah. Yearning for the Depression era.
Yearning for it?
Yeah, she's
I'm not
yearning.
sure she is, but hey, wait.
What?
Is that part of the Eras tour? The Depression
Kind of.
era?
That's her newest album. Is kind of the
Is
Depression
it?
era.
Like the emo Taylor?
Yeah, it's really sad.
Oh.
I still haven't warmed up to that album. I really thought I would, like, eventually be like, okay, they're not that bad. Or they're catchy enough that I can ignore how bad the lyrics are. But I
Okay.
still don't like them. Most of them.
It's okay. You don't have to like everything.
I know.
You can still recognize that
I
she's
do
a
still,
boss.
I do still listen to her old music. I
Yeah.
like her old music a lot.
good.
I know somebody that's going to the Eras Tour in November.
Where? I thought. That's when it's ending, right? Like
December. Is she's finishing it, yeah. I don't know where. Oh, I think it's one of the Canada stops is where they're going. But
I can't go to Canada.
I learned... Why not?
I can't talk about it.
You can't talk about it?
I don't think so.
Oh, NDA or...
No, more like NSA.
But I learned today how much one ticket costs.
Oh gosh.
Do you want to guess?
I will try to guess if you want me to.
Make a real guess. What do you think one ticket costs?
Canadian dollars?
No, American dollars. Real dollars.
$4.50.
No.
What is it?
$1,500.
No.
Yes.
No.
$1,500.
Sorry, Tay Tay.
That's
The answer's
crazy.
no.
That's insane.
I'm gonna go get me a new MacBook Pro and not go to
Like-
Taylor Swift.
That's crazy. Just watch the movie. She has a movie for
Yeah,
this.
yeah. We've watched it.
We watched it on Christmas.
It was great. It was great. I thought it was a time
It
well
was
spent.
great. And you know how much we paid for it? $15.
Yeah, not $1,500.
Not $1,500. And we got to sit on our couch and not be around other people.
Didn't we drink eggnog or something like that?
I think so. I don't know. You were doing Legos.
Oh yeah, I was doing my
your Empire State Building. Wait, Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty, yeah. That was fun. That was a gift from you and Maggie.
Yeah, the sisters.
It was so cool. By the way, I wore the shirt you got me for my birthday.
Gosh.
For the last golf outing I did. It made me feel really good.
Aww. This is my daughter's shirt.
Didn't make me play very good, though.
Oh, no. Well, neither of us know how to play golf, so that's probably why.
But I do it so many times. And you'd think I would get better at it.
Do you know how to play golf, though?
I don't.
Really?
Not really.
No.
No.
Clearly
no. No, the answer is no.
If we looked at your last couple of attempts.
Sometimes I can play golf a little bit, but I was seeing that there were highlights of one of the golf tournaments that's on TV that just started. It's day 2. But it was all the old people. It's the senior. The Champions Tour.
Oh.
They call it used to be the Senior Tour. Now it's the Champions Tour.
They changed it.
They changed it because we don't want to. Let's
my
not
God.
have any reference to the elderly here. But if you're 50 or older, you can qualify for that tour.
Wait, you're a senior?
I'm definitely a senior.
I don't think you're a senior.
Well, I could play on the Senior Tour if I had
the
good
Champions.
game. The Champions Tour. I could play there if I had game, but I don't.
Just anyone?
Well, I mean,
you have to qualify. Obviously,
in certain places. You can you can go qualify and
that's pretty cool.
On there. But anyway, this one guy didn't have a great day. I think he wound up 7 over par. Not a great round. Probably not making the cut. But what he did do is hit back-to-back hole-in-one.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He had 2 aces in a row.
He used all of his luck up on 2 holes.
Just 2 holes, and then the rest of them he just
just dry. Sorry, guys.
But also weird that normally on a golf course there are not 2 par 3s in a row. And there were in this, they're in Rhode Island or something like that. And he hit it in from the tee twice in a row. Can you imagine? I would just walk off and be like, no, I'm done golfing. I
would immediately think okay, either this is a weirdly realistic dream.
Yes.
I slipped into a parallel universe.
Right?
Or this is confirmation that we do live in a simulation and somebody
somebody's
something's wrong.
Somebody's boosting me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Insane.
I hope he's got enough bankroll to pay all the drinks that he has to pay. When you get a hole in one, you cover the tab at the bar.
Oh.
That's one of the rules.
Wow, that kind of sucks.
So I don't know whether that means he has to pay tomorrow as well because he got 2. But I would still be celebrating.
Yeah, I would hope that high would make up for having a bad overall score.
I think he bogeyed 6 of the next 7 holes.
Because he was just still oh my gosh,
he's whatever, this doesn't matter.
Hitting like crap now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've only tried to play golf once, and I couldn't even hit the ball. It wasn't hit it well, it was hit it at all. So, I don't think golf is in the cards for me.
Yeah, I think that if you had instruction from someone who understood how to give instruction, then basic setup and stuff like that, you can get to the point where you're like, okay, now work on that and then feel good. When you feel good about it, if you want another lesson, then you go back. But I'm not the person to give instruction. Right? I suck.
I've been golfing once recently, and it was not with people that knew really how to golf. I mean, they could hit the ball, which was...
They had the shirts, though.
Impressive to me. They did have the shirts. But also, that golf outing got to the point where people were just, not not hitting in the correct form, like really just whipping it.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Whee!
Yeah. But
That's fun.
it made me think of that because today you talked about how you're with people on the golf course who kept taking shots of Fireball.
Yeah.
And I had my first shot of Fireball out of a little shooter on that golf course while it was like snowing almost.
Oh, nice.
It was like raining, but it was so cold that it was mostly sleet.
Well, I want you to know that they were taking shots of Fireball out of plastic salsa containers
That's
on
much
the golf
worse.
course. Because there's no shot glasses on a beverage cart on a golf course.
Right. When you said they were taking shots of Fireball, I assumed they got a bunch of little shooters. I didn't know they had it.
No, it's a bottle
They had a
on the
bottle.
cart, and then the beverage cart person is pouring into
little salsa
a tiny little plastic ramekin
Wait,
thing.
that's so embarrassing. They have plastic shot glasses with dignity.
Yeah, but do you
Just
want to have?
get
It's just
those.
another inventory item that would get lost in the shuffle.
I guess.
So no, they don't have
They
those.
just
Plus,
use the to-go sauce cup.
more dead dinosaurs. It doesn't matter. It's just a weird thing to drink.
Yeah, it's
booze out
like
of.
shallow and
Yeah,
wide.
and they're also like, if you think about it, what's the normal volume of a shot? A true shot is supposed to be 1.5 ounces, right?
Yeah.
Well, pouring Fireball to the rim on one of those things, that's not 1.5 ounces. That's probably 3 ounces.
Yeah.
And she was
To the-
all
she
the
was
way
to the
to the
ribbon?
tip, just below
Wow.
the
I
just below the rim.
was not imagining them full. I was
They're
imagining them
full.
like kind of sadly shallow.
I looked at it and I was like, these are bad ideas.
so much. That's
and
like
then they
almost
did.
2 gulps.
I did lose count. It was either 4 or 5 is what they did
That's
on
so
the
much.
course. And then they stayed. We finished at 6:45, and they stayed until 11:30,
Oh my gosh.
drinking more and more and more.
That stamina
Like-
is crazy.
I'm good with this. Like,
And scary also.
yeah.
I would
Yeah.
love to know what their livers look
Smarter,
like.
very, very fatty,
Yeah.
very unhappy. Throwing, as I pour more wine,
Their livers.
their livers are awful.
Horrible. From our ivory tower.
This is not a shot of Fireball, so
It's a red blend Portugal.
it's okay.
It's serviceable.
It's Portuguese table red.
It's good. I like it.
It's not the
Oh my
Cabernet
gosh.
I saw last night.
The $3,400
$3,700
cab.
I witnessed in person
That's
a
great.
2011 Screaming Eagle Napa cab, a bottle getting opened, and
Just casually.
casually, yeah, like we gotta check to see whether this one is ruined because the cellar lost its temperature, and so we think it might be baked and it might not be good. So we got to open it just
We
to
gotta
make sure.
test it.
Okay.
You couldn't have tested with a different bottle. No, that one specifically.
That's a good point. Like you
Like
had
if the whole cellar.
you had
is
400
shot,
bottles in that
maybe.
cellar.
Why would you pick the most expensive one to test?
I think
It's a
there
flex.
was more intentionality behind it than you got a $3,700 bottle of wine. You probably are making excuses to open it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
If somebody has the type of money to choose to spend that much on one bottle of wine,
yeah, well.
I don't think they're really savoring it.
So here's the thing. Let's talk about that.
Okay, let's talk
because
about
the money to spend on for that person, number one, he didn't spend that much on that bottle of wine.
Right.
Because he has enough money that he had the opportunity to buy it back when it wasn't worth that much. And then put it in a cellar And like the fact that
I
he's
see. Okay, I
already
understand.
so wealthy.
I didn't realize that he was the one that had it this whole time.
Oh yeah,
waiting.
yeah.
I thought you just meant he was like acquired this amazing.
No.
wealth.
He's the owner of the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
but I don't know.
he
I
just
think that
he's
that
had
place
he's
would
the
have
one
had
that he's
in
the
a
one
cellar
that
for
he's the one that
that long.
had it and put it there
Oh.
among a bunch of other things. And the only reason he had the opportunity to buy it is because he was already successful.
Right.
And so it wasn't that it for plebes like us it would be 3,700.
Yeah.
For him, he probably paid I don't know what it was when it was first released, like probably $700 or $800, for one bottle of wine.
Oh, only that much?
Oh, yeah, way more than I would ever spend
Chump
on
change.
a bottle of wine. But it's just the fact that you have the money gives you the opportunity
Yeah.
to do things that turn out to be way more valuable. But in the moment, it's just like, no, it's just what I do because that's what I have access to.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's privilege all the way through. Not
Oh,
just
it's
surface level privilege.
So much privilege.
Yeah.
So much privilege. That's a really bad Trump impression. I don't even know.
Was that a Trump impression? I didn't even.
There you
clock
go.
it as
See,
that.
that's how bad it
I
was.
thought you were just doing a silly little voice.
Yeah. Yes to both of those.
Also, yes.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay, go.
Something that my mother has told me for a while that I'm curious to see if you agree with, because Maggie tonight basically told me that she agrees with it, is this. She said, it's hard to relate to people that have a different upbringing than you, and you shouldn't even really invest in those relationships because you won't really ever really connect. She said that in much harsher language than I just did. But
Of course she did.
but Maggie tonight was like, yeah, I struggled, like, she's talking about something that she knew. She's like, I struggled, like, feeling understood by him and feeling like I understood him because we were brought up in such different environments and ways that we didn't ever get each other. But I feel like I've been able to form very close relationships with people that have had insanely different upbringings.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I would agree that I feel like I can do that as well. I would say I think that there's a difference between meeting somebody and having empathy and understanding, like wanting to truly know someone and knowing that they come from a different background. I think that's very possible. I think it's more challenging if it becomes a romantic relationship.
I agree with that.
But I also think it's still, you can still overcome it. I don't think this is going to sound horrible, but to say that, you should restrict your relationships to the people who are in your socioeconomic, like, you have to have relationships with people who had similar upbringings and stuff like that. To me, that's just lazy.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have the emotional bandwidth to try to understand other human beings and what you really want is to be friends with people just like you, to look in a mirror all the time and be like, yeah, we're good. Like that.
Yeah.
That's not fun to me.
Yeah.
Which is why I have always been able to have I've always been able to have relationships with people both above and below my socioeconomic status at any given moment.
Yeah.
Maybe not when I was like in high school or anything like that, but since college times and now to 51, I have friendships, good friendships, well above where I am and below where I am. What I've failed at is really being able to authentically connect with people who aren't my like my race and sexual identity. That's the thing that I've had
Yeah.
a struggle with. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that I haven't been able to.
Just the circles that you run in.
Yeah, I haven't been able to figure that out.
Populated by straight white men.
Yeah.
And so.
But I wish I was better at it. I really do. I wish because I see value in the overall culture that I see in those different realms, and I wish I had more. Yeah. I mean, your mother's always said you always wished you were a black man.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's just because I want to dunk, but that's the most racist thing I will ever say.
Horrible.
No, I mean, I've had friendships with people, but I've never been. I don't feel like I do it well. I feel like I don't. I feel like I get in my own way. I feel like it's not about them. It's about me.
Too hard a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I've been thinking about it lately because, like, along the same vein, I have found that I struggle forming actual genuine connections with people that didn't have some sort of like major mental health struggle at one point.
Yeah.
Like if I meet somebody who is like, no, I've never
totally normal.
Never felt like that ever. It just my brain can't comprehend it. I'm like, I don't think I can ever get you.
Do you have resentment for them? Like
maybe a little
dumb shit. You should have some struggle. Come on.
Right. Okay. There's a little bit of that where I'm like, seriously, how do you live in this? Like, I feel like everybody that is living in the same world as me and paying attention should have some of that.
Be a little concerned at this point. Yeah.
But also, it's like, I find, and this, oh my gosh, this is going to sound so cliche and cringy, but I have found that some of the smartest people I know are also the saddest people I know. And I feel like if somebody's like, no, I've been pretty pleased with everything so far. I'm like, okay, you're just not not examining your life then. Because life
or paying attention to your world.
Life sucks a lot of the time. And if, like, it's just like and that might be horrible that I'm like, if somebody's happy, that's a red flag. You know, like, it sounds crazy. But it continues to prove itself true to me.
But I think what you're really looking for is someone to. I think somebody to balance you by being maybe on the other side, but still a realist. Like you got to be a realist.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah,
you just can't be Pollyanna. Like, everything's great. Yes. It's all wonderful. Okay, now you're just a marshmallow bouncing through the world.
What's frustrating is when, I feel like at this point where I'm at, I'm not a pessimist, but I am very aware of my situation, I would say. I think I make pretty good calls most of the time about what could be threatening to happen, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not being pessimistic. I'm just being realistic about what might be a consequence to this, you know?
Yeah, I wonder though.
But also, like, I also think I'm at the point where I'm pretty confident and aware of my own abilities and who I am. So when I'm like admitting that there's something that I'm not good at or I'm like not confident with, and somebody's like, "No, you are the best at that." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I promise I'm not."
And I've fully absorbed that, and I'm okay with it because you know what? I'm a badass at other things.
All of these other things, and I'm fine with not being good at this. But when somebody's like so seriously trying to convince me that I am good at it, I'm like, okay,
that's just bullshit.
You're not clued into the world.
Yeah. Or they're just trying to say nice things to you.
Or that. Either way, bad.
Like, which is kind of cringy, right? Like, okay, you don't have to say bad things to me.
I'm saying there are plenty of actually true good things you could say about
Yeah. Like,
why are we?
I know I'm good at shit. Let's talk about that. But no, I'm not a good golfer. Don't try to tell me I'm a good golfer.
No, you could be so good at this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And now I want to hit you. But that's back to no, we don't hit people. We just don't hit people.
Don't do a hit. You're an adult.
Don't throw hands.
Dad's hip with the youth.
That's what I am.
Don't throw hands.
Can you tell me what hip with the youth means?
I don't know. Let's call down my 14-year-old brother.
No,
oh my gosh.
We'd have to call him up. He's in the basement.
Oh, okay. I've never felt so old than I have.
You know what? You've never been so old as you are today.
That's very true. Than I have in like the last year, with Patrick like starting to lock into like the internet lingo.
Oh.
He'll say stuff, and I like get like psychic damage blowback from it.
Well, and because it's a lot of like brotastic stuff. It's like, dude, you can't. You.
But it's language that I don't know anymore. Like, he says words, and I'm like, what'd you say? And I feel so old. Like, what does that mean?
I feel like we should...
What is that?
I feel like this is a great transition into something that we've talked about before, but I think it's worth talking about.
Okay.
This, like... The spectrum of sexual identity.
Okay. How does...
I know this is a chit-chat thing, and this is a pretty, like...
No, I love talking about it, and it's still
like,
Pride
trigger
Month,
warning,
so.
we're put on your swimmies, we're heading towards the deep end.
And we're all going to be nice.
But we're going to be... Oh, we're totally going to be nice. But I know that we've had many conversations about sexual identity and how language has needed to evolve around expressions in our modern day, and I get that. I'm okay with that. I just think that I think we're kind of like leaking into absurdity with some of the expressions.
Okay.
And I think the reason I thought it was worth bringing up right in that moment was I feel like you, as you've gotten older, have also been like, as someone who does identify in some of these ways, some of these folks are not necessarily my people. Yeah. They're kind of off the rails.
I have a friend who's also bisexual, and we both kind of are like, we're bisexual, I guess. You know? Mm-hmm. Like, I guess that's the closest way. It's the easiest, simplest, most digestible way to describe it. Mm-hmm. Bisexual, I guess. But...
Does that mean we have to add B-I-G to the end of the flag and the end of the whole thing? Like,
just put a question mark.
LGBTIQ big.
Big, yeah. Okay. Well, I also I think this is a fun thing that's evolved within like the last 5 years, is the queer community is like a very, like, you can just say, oh yeah, I'm queer. And that just kind of encompasses the blanket. It's like people get it.
Okay, cool. That would be very helpful.
It's very helpful
for many of us.
Yeah, I like it.
I identify as queer. Yes. And you don't need to know the details.
Why am I like giving you all my
you don't need to know the details.
And also, I've never enjoyed the LGBTQIA, like all of that stuff. I can just say the queer community, and it's just easier. And I also like the word queer. It's fun to say.
And it sounds happy.
It sounds happy.
But also, it sounds like I'm ready to be different from you.
Yes.
And but I'm good with it. I'm happy with it, and I'm queer.
I love it. But what me and this other person say is we're queer, but we're not like the Gay Straight Alliance Club in high school.
That was all just bullshit, wasn't it?
Well, it's just
wasn't it popular kids trying to...
It's a little bit of both. At least at the high school I went to, it was not popular kids. It was all like the... Like...
I thought the straight part of the alliance was a bunch of popular kids.
It might have been named something different. It might have just been like a, I don't know, LGBT club or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Like it was
the Gay Straight Alliance, I thought was like, we're going to help these poor children not get bullied.
Yeah, that was the original intention.
And we're going to put football players and cheerleaders in there to make sure it happens.
Right. Just put
solve that.
It's like Coliseum rules.
Yeah,
It's like,
like
just put them
you-
together as soon as possible.
This
Let
is like
them fight it out.
This was adults trying to solve the problem that just didn't understand what the
Clueless.
problem was.
Absolutely clueless. But yeah, okay, to your point, yes, I agree. Like I've always loved being a part of the queer community, and I've always loved my community. However, I've always had a little bit of distaste for the fringe groups that make it. I don't care if you're making it your whole personality, whatever, that's fun. I don't like when you make it your whole personality and centered around victimhood the whole time. Where it's like, I'm gay and this is how much it has made my life horrible. Or this is how much people hate me for it. It's like, why are you... Get out of that, like,
That might be
suction
that
of
may be your
misery.
experience, but you should be around other people and be a part of a group to
Right?
be
To have
celebrated
the
and then
pride in it.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Hey,
Yeah, that's where it bums
Happy
me
Pride
out.
Month. It's almost over.
Thank you. It's almost over. Thank you for telling me that. Though.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be shame for the rest of the year.
It's shame month.
Yeah.
11 out of 12.
Yeah.
One pride.
But the way that you describe it is also, it's like, that's why I'm not a Republican anymore. Like, guys, stop. The fringe took over. You guys all sound stupid and crazy. We had a good idea that I could stand in front of people and defend, and now you've taken over the message and you sound like fools.
I feel like that's all both sides, all sides, everybody
it's
right
what
now.
happens.
The
like
loudest
the weird,
people are the craziest
the weird
people.
takes over.
It's such a shame.
I used to be proud of being weird.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't want to be the weird
ugh.
one.
No, it's weird, but it's weird being the most normal one in a room now.
That's it's
seriously.
like, I used to be so fucked up. And
And now I'm in a room, I'm like, why am I the most stable person here? Yeah. What's going
you
on?
guys all sound crazy. And
Oh my gosh.
I can't help any of you.
I was listening to the Behind the Bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to our last episode about podcasts if you want to know more. But I was listening to their Thomas Jefferson series. That they were
Oh, yeah. He
And
was totally cool dude. Yeah. Everything was very
Everything
chill
was
with
totally
him.
kosher and
Yep.
perfect. 10 out of 10.
No,
But they were talking about how he had this like...
Shout out to the Founding Fathers.
Shout out, guys. They call him TJ a lot throughout the episodes, which I find very fun.
Yep.
But they were talking about how he had this mentor when he was at, I think, law school or maybe regular school. But he had this mentor who he called his Cato. And Cato, like he was... TJ had this like weird obsession with like Greco-Roman writings and philosophers and scholars and stuff.
Yeah.
And his favorite was Cato, the elder, I think.
Okay.
Because there are two. One's the younger, one's the elder. But his favorite was the elder, apparently. But he's talking about how...
That's weird because I thought that he kind of liked young.
The younger?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Too soon, probably.
Oof, still too soon, even now. But he was talking about how a lot of Thomas Jefferson's like political ideologies and like visions that he had for America, like as a young country, came from Cato's writings.
Yeah.
About
Cause
like
that all ended so well,
right? but it was all like the farmer like citizen, the independent farmer citizen.
What is it? The noble farmer?
I don't know, something like that. Yeah, it was something like that. But the theory was like a society where every person is a farmer and every person is independent and the entire society is self-fulfilled.
And
like
self-regulated.
Doesn't import anything. Like they make everything, they consume everything there. And everybody's individuals. There is no government, basically.
It sounds really boring, by the way.
Doesn't it? And also crazy. Like, that's never going to happen.
Stupid idealism. Yeah.
But, like, TJ really adapted a lot of that into his...
Well, slavery helped.
Well, exactly. That's the whole point. It's, like, this theory that they had about these, like, societies that they were going to build. They just brushed under the rug. The fact that
cheap labor makes it all possible.
Societies were being oppressed.
Yeah, our southern genteel kind of
Crazy.
spirit we can really envision a future.
Yeah, but look how pretty this house is.
Yeah,
that
it's
I
so
built. They built. I built. Like,
isn't TJ Monticello?
Monticello. Yeah. In the episode, they pronounce it Monticello.
Okay, fine. You can.
But Hamilton pronounces it Monticello.
Okay, I believe Saint Lin-Manuel.
Okay.
And also, wow, what a weird time. That it's a bunch of people trying to be gentlemen in the hinterlands of Western civilization, right? I mean, civilization's been around in North America for a long time.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. And then it was just like, it was like a bunch of guys going out into the woods and being like, let's build a club together.
Oh my gosh. There was...
So this is one of the podcasts that I listened to that we didn't talk about because I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Okay. You can talk about it. You can name drop. Go ahead. We talked about it in our first episode.
I know. There was they were, I don't know why they were talking about it. I don't remember which episode it was, but Joe Rogan they were talking about the founding fathers and how we have this idealistic personification of what these founding fathers were. Oh my gosh, they were willing to die. They were ready for freedom, and they were just they were mobsters. They were tax dodgers.
They were annoyed that they had to pay taxes.
They were annoyed that they didn't that their their civil administration was saying, no, this is how it works. You pay us, and we're
nothing for you.
Our army is here protecting you, sort of, and from the people who actually have been living here for thousands of years. Anyway,
invaders, Dad. They're invaders.
Yeah, something like that. And the point they were making was like, we've got this image of who these guys that signed the Declaration of Independence were.
Yeah.
But the reality is that they're all a bunch of kind of sketchy dudes, and most of what did you know? Did you know that one of the signers of the Declaration, I don't remember the name, but one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence was 18 years old.
Okay, I was just about to say, I saw a TikTok of somebody going through the people that signed and like the ages of each,
it's
and
nuts.
The oldest was like 32. But
well,
the youngest...
no, TJ signed and he was old.
Well, but it was mostly like 18 to 25.
Yeah, they were super young.
All really young, like early 20s.
It
was crazy.
Which makes it really cool that hey kids, go back to Facebook.
Don't go back to
Facebook. My Facebook feed has ads all the time for T-shirts with the George Washington face. It says, "It's only treason if you lose."
That's pretty amazing, and also applicable to.
I know.
Both sides.
The problem is, I'm like kind of like, go America, fuck yeah, when I see that. But I'm also a little bit like, oh shit, if Trump wins,
oh god,
again, like, I'm sorry to make it political again. We're not supposed to do that, but I'm like,
it doesn't feel so political when it's like looming like a like a scary dark mountain we're about to have to climb.
But I have lots of friends that are very pro-Trump.
No, I just mean the election in general.
I know.
I don't even mean,
I don't think just give us a fucking option. Anyway.
How about mass suicide?
No, that's not an option.
Okay, fine.
We'll just storm the Capitol again.
Put my Kool-Aid away. Oh,
what?
Oh,
Huh?
oh. Well, my news app informed me that a bunch of people got off of like.
No, not really.
Okay.
There was a Supreme Court ruling that said that one of the things the Justice Department was charging people with which was something like Colby should be here for this because he listens to that podcast, the Supreme Court podcast. But one of the things that they were charged with, like 250 people that stormed the Capitol on January 6th, they were charged with obstruction of an official proceeding or something like that.
Yeah,
it's something like
they
that.
Interrupted like the session.
And the idea was they were trying to certify the election in Congress that day, and so but the actual law that makes it a crime to obstruct an official proceeding wasn't intended to. The Supreme Court said it wasn't intended to be that broad.
It
was much more specific.
At the session.
No, it was more about falsifying records or doing something to make an act of the government.
Oh, okay. So
different.
When they say obstruction, they don't mean somebody physically walking in and obstructing.
Right.
They mean
it's something
messing
like that.
around with the.
The reason the Justice Department went that way is because that specific law allowed them to charge a bunch of these people with 20-year felonies.
Oh, gee. Okay, I didn't realize.
And,
I didn't realize
and
it was that
they
crazy.
went down that road because it's like, well, this and this and this and this and this are, like, we can only get them for a little bit. But that's a 20-year felony. And it's really leverage to get a plea deal and get a guilty plea. And, you plea it down.
Right.
But
Nobody's actually going to jail.
No one's going to. Most of these people, most of the January 6th people who have been convicted for, like, they get sentenced.
They're not going to jail, right?
No, they do.
They do?
Yeah, they go.
For how long?
Like, depending on what they did,
right?
Like 12 to, like, 1 year to 5 years, call it, is about what they're getting.
Okay.
Unless you did something truly violent.
Right.
But, like, if they've got video evidence of you abusing a cop, a Capitol Police officer, you're in trouble.
You can't do that.
You're going to be kind of.
Yeah.
That's just felony assault of a law officer, and then that's probably a 10-year felony. But
eesh.
Anyway, that's.
How'd we get here?
We got here because we were talking about,
politics.
Our great nation.
This is why we don't do it.
This is. We have so much hope for the future.
Okay, can I tell you something I learned, though, from this?
From which part?
From the episode that I was listening to about Thomas Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
He had, and I knew that this was something that happened, but I didn't realize it was to this extent. He had an enslaved boy that was raised alongside him, same age, that was raised to be his companion. Like, they lived the same life, except for one was enslaved the whole time, as his, like, companion. All his life, named Jupiter, which is pretty cool. And, like, some of the writings show that TJ, like, gave him, like, money to go do jobs and would sometimes borrow money from him when he was, like, poor while he was out, like, in college. Like, there was just, like, this was a job that they had.
Okay.
To just be, like, the personal gopher and butler for just a white dude.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, that was... So, yeah, his valet, basically.
Basically, yeah. But also, like,
but also,
close
like,
friend.
But it became, like, more...
Like, brother, even.
I wonder about that. I mean, I've never understood that,
but... I guess we can't peek into the brains of, like...
Did people in servant status in olden times...
Yeah.
Did they frequently become good, like, confidants and friends of, even though there's a vast difference in rank or whatever you want to call it, where one's a slave and,
one's like
one presumably owns the other.
Member of the gentry, like
weird.
Yeah.
But
weird.
I don't know. I would imagine if anybody who was in a privileged position and had a heart and had a good conscience, they would grow up knowing, like, that's a human being.
How do you
I'm
not,
like,
like-
you build a relationship and you're like, that's like, that's
And
Jupiter's
they're-
my best friend.
They're raised alongside you. They go
Yeah.
everywhere you go.
Like, that's my best friend.
How would that, like, also he would write about how, like, his first memory as a child, TJ, was riding the, like, 50-mile journey to his new home through the wilderness on the lap of his, like, nursemaid, who was an enslaved woman. So, like, how do you have these people
had a baby with an
caring
enslaved
for you
woman,
and
right?
taking care of you, like, and not have that connection? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that in some cases they probably did get it, didn't necessarily have the ability to fix it,
That's true.
but
That's true. That's
they
true.
did get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in some cases they didn't, and they were just
Just terrible
assholes.
people. Well, TJ's one
In
of
a
those
lot of
situations.
cases,
Yeah.
there's-
There's this story that they told in the episode about how Thomas Jefferson's actual like his best friend that he would write about like as his best friend died, and he went to the funeral and watched these enslaved people digging the grave of his friend and watched how long it took them to dig the grave, and at the funeral was making calculations in his head about how long it would take one person to turn over 1 acre of soil based on how long it took them to dig the grave of his best friend. Like, this dude is like crazy.
there's a little touch of the tism in there.
That's our founding father right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
One of the more elderly ones.
Yeah.
Wow. We're touching a lot of third rails right now.
Yeah. Well,
How do you want to like let's find
let's find a full circle ending.
well let's find a happy like
Oh, okay.
cotton candy unicorns
Let me think.
with a rainbow, like what how do we want to like land the plane?
I don't know.
How do you like this Portuguese red blend?
I like it. I mean, we've had it before.
I know.
I like it. I'm never mad at it.
It's all of $9 a bottle.
It's exactly what I'm looking for if I'm just like, I like some red wine.
Yeah. Please don't make it special.
Yeah, I don't need to have to go through stuff mentally to understand it.
I also like that they were very bold about it. It's a beautiful label.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
What is
there's some
that?
nice art.
Is it a
It's
chicken?
like a partridge or something like that.
A partridge?
I don't know what it is. What is that?
I don't know.
With some flowers.
Yeah, I don't know. It
But
just
then
looks like a bird.
The name of it is just Red Blend Portugal.
It's telling you only the important information.
Red Blend Portugal.
What is it? And where's it from?
Yeah, by Casa Santos Lima. The House of the Saint of
Lima. Lima's a spot.
Yeah, Lima
Well,
is a
Peru,
city.
though.
Yeah.
It's the capital of Peru.
Yeah.
Of Peru.
Is Lima like
It's also a type of bean.
Lima?
Lima bean.
A Lima bean. Please don't make those Lima beans with liver. Hey Siri, what does Lima mean?
Lima means the capital of Peru. Congratulations.
Yeah, I get that. But
In Portuguese.
what is there a Spanish definition
No,
for
Portuguese. It's a different language.
Okay, I found this on the web.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Portuguese,
get
yeah.
that. But what is there a Spanish definition for Lima?
Lima? No.
Check it out.
Hey, thanks.
The way you talk to Siri is making me break out in hives.
No, hey Siri.
Thanks. Check it.
Hey Siri, can you check in with your AI friend and tell me
What
the
does he think?
Portuguese definition of Lima?
Okay, I found this on the web. For Hey Siri, can you check
No, you can shut up now. Thanks.
Dismiss her. We don't need
This
her
is
anymore.
really good content.
You did a
by
good
the way.
job.
Really good content.
I don't
I'm
like
so good at
It's so
managing
weird.
AI. I have a certificate in AI from.
Just-
Hi, Cassie.
You just have a certificate in AI.
No, I don't.
Oh. That's so vague.
I was just gonna make some shit up.
I don't know if you
but
can trust
that's
that
basically
certificate.
what they're doing.
Okay,
They're
I've
making shit
noticed
up.
that old people, talk to Siri like she's a person, and I talk to Siri like she's a robot.
Yeah.
And then Patrick's age people talk to her like she's a person again.
Oh, weird.
It's like
interesting.
a skip. It skips.
See, it's back to like how different. Like, where are the generations? I talk to Siri like I'm in an SNL skit.
You're like,
Okay.
actually, no, Siri. So Siri, and it's like, don't
Hey,
talk,
Sally,
stop
tell
talking to
me
her like
what-
that. Don't. She's not like you can't hem and haw with Siri. She doesn't. It doesn't work.
What's the guy the guy with the great SNL
I
skit?
don't know, man. I don't
about
watch SNL.
Samantha, tell me what.
I don't know. Is it Andy Samberg?
No, it's the chubbier black guy.
Ah, I know him.
He's
been there for a
it's-
while. He's an OG dude.
And this is it's such a great bit because he
was in Psych.
was he.
Yeah, he did a guest episode once.
I think he's amazing. I like
He's
let
funny.
him go and build the new generation of SNL around him, and they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be a little old now. His humor is a little millennial.
Gosh, you are so judgy.
Yep. I don't know. Millennial humor is especially
Lorne Michaels is
cringy.
still running it.
I know
right?
he is. Yeah, how old is he?
Like 5 bazillion years old. He's
dinosaur.
older than the T-Rex.
Yeah.
He's. I'm
I don't
ancient.
know.
He's way older than me.
SNL has kind of fallen off a little.
Well, no shit.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying maybe it's like. I mean, it is a like
This. Okay.
an establishment. It's like like a pillar of American culture. However,
Yes, I would agree
I
that
think
it has fallen off, but
struggles to stay current.
it has also gone up and down over the course of its
That's true.
history.
Sometimes they hit like a really good guest. And then I see clips of it on TikTok and I'm like, oh yeah, SNL exists. And then other times it doesn't exist at all to me.
Yeah, I want to give. I want to
He's
give
Googling.
credit.
He's
I want to give
Googling
credit to the.
Whatever that dude's name is.
I just want to get the name right.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Please
No,
hold.
it's going to be a minute. Forget it.
It's fine.
Please, Phil.
We'll cut it. I'll cut it.
You won't cut it.
I will cut
You
it.
will not.
I know
This
how
is
to do
so
it.
Awkward.
Guys, I'm learning how to do audio editing. Not really. I mean, all I've done so far is insert a clip at the beginning. And even that took me 45 minutes to figure out.
But you did it,
But I did it.
and I didn't.
No. That's okay. My brain is stretchier than yours.
Oh, it's very much
easier,
so.
It's easier for me to learn a new skill.
Well, we're still working over here on
He's also bad at Googling. You
Keenan,
wanna,
Keenan Thompson.
Ask Siri again. Okay, Keenan Thompson is his name.
He's the guy that does that one.
Yeah, he was in Psych.
Yeah, I think he's great.
Have you and Mom watched Psych, by the way?
Yeah, I've watched. We haven't watched it like front to back.
You
but
should watch it front to back. I think you guys would enjoy
I
it.
feel like we did a little like psych.
Although,
We did a psych thing during COVID.
did you?
Yeah.
You don't like police shows, and neither
No,
does
but
Mom.
I do like that version.
They
because
approach it in a much
'cause it's-
more lighthearted.
It's lighthearted.
manner.
It's
Yeah.
comedic, and there's still like solid characters. I remember
Yes.
liking it.
Yes. Yeah, I'm doing my 1,000,000,003 watch of that show.
Yeah, good. It's a good time for
I
it.
love that show so
I
much.
love I really like the way that the main characters interact. It's like, it's the other one that you what's the roommate
New Girl.
New Girl.
Yeah.
That one was similar.
love
It's like
that one.
it's like interesting characters. I didn't like some of them, but you're not meant to like some of them, right? Like they're intentionally
What?
Like, this is
Yeah.
reality. Like, some people are narcissistic, and then they learn that that's not the best way to
Yeah.
live life.
What I really like about Psych, though, and what I was noticing, because I'm almost at the end of this rewatch, and I realized, like, I feel like a lot of shows lean on romantic mix-ups
Yeah.
to drive a lot of the interest in their shows, but Psych does not do that.
No.
Like, our main character settles on a girl, like, season 3 or something, and it's consistent for the rest of the show.
How many seasons are there of Psych?
8 total.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What network was that on?
I don't
Was
remember.
it TNT or something?
It's on
like that?
Peacock right now, if you care to
Okay,
watch.
so that's
But
that's like NBC.
yeah, it's on this. It's like the same as
Was it on
The Office
NBC?
and Parks and Rec and stuff.
Was it
It's
on a
just-
main network?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
It was on a main network.
Hi,
I remember
Fred.
watching the finale, their series finale
They
in our old house.
they didn't just get canceled. They actually did a wrap
they
up.
wrapped it up. They ended it themselves.
That's cool.
I know.
Was
That's-
it-
That's why I like it so
did
much.
Did
is
it make you cry?
It did make me cry, and it also actually made me feel like they did a good job with that. Like,
Okay.
they closed up all of
Cool.
these storylines
Buttoned it up.
the way that makes me feel fulfilled.
Oh.
Like, I followed these characters, and now I feel like I'm.
Why are you doing
happy
this
with
to
it.
me? Now I have to go fucking watch eight
It's
seasons.
so
of
good, Dad. They're 45 minutes each, so I feel like it's a nice, like,
Yeah, but there's like 23 episodes per season.
it's like 20.
Yeah, like
15.
meh. So we're only talking
17.
about like 160 hours of content. It's no big deal.
It's so good, Dad. It's so good. Everybody go watch Psych, because I'm very much Gus.
Hey, we've already done personality tests. Like, what's
Are
the
you
psych?
Sean or Gus? I'm Gus. You're Gus.
or
too. We're both Gus.
the stupid detective.
He's not stupid. I love him. That's Lassie.
Oh, okay, Lassie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carlton Lassiter. They call him Lassie. I love him. All of the characters are so good because they develop all of them.
Yeah,
Like,
no, they do.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's one that I would probably take the recommendation.
You should.
Because
Everybody should take it.
The time that I've spent on Psych, I've been like, oh, this is smart and funny.
It's so funny. They poke fun at themselves. The guy that plays Gus played Charlie in The West
That's
Wing.
right, The West Wing.
And they make,
Why would I not love this show?
they make a reference to it.
Do
in
they?
One episode. It's an episode where they're like investigating the murder of like a mayor or something. So they're talking about running for office, and Gus goes, the guy who played Charlie in The West
Yeah.
Wing goes, I could have made it to the White House. I could have been the assistant to the president. And Sean goes, say yes, Mr. President. And he goes, yes, Mr. President. And the voice that he uses in the show.
That's great. I didn't know that.
It's funny.
Yeah,
It's
and
good. They're clever.
hey kids, if you haven't watched The West Wing,
Oh my gosh.
watch it front to
Watch
back
The West Wing. It's so good.
3 times.
It's so
It's
smart.
It's what I wish we would be as a nation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's one of those political shows that restores your faith in politics somehow.
Well,
It does for me.
it does, but it restores your faith in the potential of politics
It makes me hope that one day I could trust the people
running
currently
yeah.
in that building the same way I trust the fake people on my screen who are in that
Yeah,
building.
yeah.
You know?
And I feel like it's based. I mean, it was also made now, like long enough ago that it's a little quaint
Yeah.
in the way that it operates, but it at least shows you the human experience of what it is to deal with big issues and have the responsibility to manage big issues, and then, like how it can impact you.
Yeah.
Like, I think they did, and again, like character development, like
Yes.
the people involved, so many great actors, great writing. That's
It's
Aaron Sorkin.
Our Lord and Savior, Aaron Sorkin.
like you gotta.
He's the best.
Sometimes you
The
gotta watch
Newsroom,
that.
too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes you gotta watch that stuff on like half speed or 3/4
Or-
speed, just so you can keep
What-
up with
dude,
all the
when
dialogue.
when I watch TV shows, I'm crocheting almost 100% of the time. Like, I don't watch stuff unless I'm crocheting because I can't just sit there and watch something. I have to do something at the same time.
Right.
But
Same.
when I watch The West Wing, it's like I'm sitting there, I'm not moving. My eyes are glued to the screen the whole episode. I'm like, I can't miss
They're
a
so
single
good.
beat. All of it is important.
All right, now we have the rest of our summer planned out. It's
Psych rewatch.
Newsroom, Psych,
The
West Wing, sorry, House of the Dragon or whatever
Oh,
it's called.
I'm still
not
keeping
doing
up with that.
Sorry, here we go. Here's our Bridgerton drop. Not watching that.
Yeah, that was a bad one. This is how many episodes in a row is this?
I mean, we gotta say it, right?
Oh my gosh.
Till Bridgerton dies, we will continue
We will
to
not be
call
silent.
it out. How awful season is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. Holy shit.
Boo, down with Bridgerton.
Somehow we've rambled for an hour and 20 minutes, Rebecca.
And we could keep doing it for another hour. But
yeah,
we won't.
I'm
We'll
down
release
with
we'll release you from our clutches.
it. Clutches?
Our evil clutches.
I don't like that.
Sorry. I channeled Disney villain in that moment.
Okay, Cruella.
I was feeling Ursula, but I'll take
Ursula?
Cruella.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are we doing next episode? Do we know?
Oh my gosh, did we? Well,
think
we've
we know.
already... We've totally
shook-
fucked over the
Yeah.
whole schedule anyway.
We shook up our schedule pretty poorly.
We didn't have one. We didn't have a recording scheduled for next week. Actually, I think we're done with what we
With
had
what we
scheduled.
scheduled out. Okay.
But
Well-
we also didn't do a couple of the things that we had scheduled.
Yeah. So we'll go back. We'll see what we didn't do. We'll see what we want to do. And I guess it'll be a mystery for y'all.
It would be another mystery.
How
Yeah.
fun. Mystery for us, mystery for you.
Yay.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our chit chat.
Chit
We
chat
sure
too.
did.
Well, I did. Yeah,
I did.
We crushed that red blend Portugal.
Look it up, guys. It's good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
All right.
Look up all those podcasts and all those
TV shows.
to
Everybody
rewatch.
should watch Psych for sure.
I will.
Including you.
Yeah,
I will for
I'm
sure.
gonna do it.
I'm going to go home and I'm going to do that.
All right.
All right, guys. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.